Hello, Fierce Factor podcast listeners. So listen, I have a really special episode for you today. You know, I always love bringing really special, powerful guests to you. I don't do it all the time. I'm selective about who I think fits the mold for bringing innovation and forward thinking and really an aligned philosophy to the industry. And today, I had a chance to sit down with one of my clients, actually a corporate client, Jan Marini Skin Research, and their VP of Sales, Michael Poole. Michael's been in the industry for some 20 odd years, and obviously it's evolved a lot and he's seen a lot. And I thought it would be really powerful to introduce to you guys the program that we have built together and to get Michael's perspective really about why someone coming from a sales mind and sales perspective, the company has invested so much into this program that I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Really, that is geared toward helping their resellers grow their total book of business and their brand, not just your typical, here's marketing toward a budget toward marketing our products. You know, really how they really came to me and came to the table with a question of how do we best support and invest in our resellers in a way that's going to help them truly be successful and drive not just revenue growth, but also total business acumen and really instituting frameworks for them to be able to implement these strategies forever in their business. And so together, we have now been working together for months and are getting ready to launch in Q4, really our fourth round this year of what we are calling TAP, Transforming Aesthetic Practices. And it's really an 8-week power-packed program that is addressing with practices really the state of aesthetics, how they can approach their business in a way that is going to differentiate them from their competitors, how to effectively market themselves and the products and services that they offer in a way that is really beating commoditization, standing out from a crowd, you know, learning strategies that are going to convert your average social media follower into a paying client, and ultimately driving home the promise of doubling their recurring retail revenue this year. And that's a big promise, but I have to say, it's been transformational and really mind-blowing the work that these practices who have been going through this program have put in and what they've been able to accomplish in just a short 8-week period. And so in this interview with Michael, we're going to talk a lot, you know, from a high level standpoint about the vision behind the program, the philosophy that Jan Marini Skin Research lives by. And, you know, I asked the question, like, why did you guys call me and ask me to help you build this program? What was it about growing your resellers' businesses that was helping address the needs of the market? And so we're talking really at a high level about the philosophy, investments that they're making, and really some thoughtful conversation around the future of retail in aesthetics. And I really think this is a fascinating conversation you guys are really going to enjoy. And I want to quickly outline what this program is and what's included in this program so you have some context around it. This is an 8-week program where we're talking really from high level to very tactical level, how to build a booming recurring revenue stream in your business, how to better market your practice altogether, but also the retail components of your practice. And so we really start by talking about, you know, the patient experience and how to boost patient retention and referrals. And in week 2, we talk about the internal marketing blueprint and how marketing is really multidimensional and really how to build what I call, and I reference this in our interview, the relationship marketing process, and that sort of relationship and the process of which a client becomes aware of your services or of your business to the point of pulling them to where they trust you and want to spend money with you. And then in week 3, we go into leveraging retail and e-commerce to double your recurring retail revenue. And you'll hear us talk a bit about that in the interview as well. And then week 4, finally, social media marketing strategies that convert. So, not just having a following, but actually how to get them converted into paying patients in your practice. Then we move into talking about standing out from your competition and really getting to the nitty-gritty tactical about how to create proprietary treatments and bundles, finishing up with week 6, building loyalty programs, how to effectively implement membership programs. Some people, a lot of you may have membership programs, but you're not really sure if it's working appropriately. You're not getting the registration that you or participation that you expect. Are you charging appropriately for it? Are you really driving, incentivizing the right behaviors? And then finally, a masterclass at the end, building your $1 million ecosystem. And you guys, this is really a power-packed 8 weeks that is a model of what the type of learning that we do in our Pop Leadership Academy. And it's really not just sessions of learning, but really open communication and collaboration. You have a very selective group of people that are going through this program with you. So you have a community. There is a virtual classroom, a portal with an app that you can access on your phone and access to recordings, and some 25, 30 odd page workbook with actual guideposts and resources and checklists and homework that you get to go through to guide you through this program. I mean, the value and what they have put into this program is really second to none. So without further ado, I'm really excited to share with you this interview with Michael and to really bring to you and, create some awareness behind this program that I've been working on with them. It's something I'm very proud of. And if you've been thinking about taking KLC for a test drive and you're like, hey, I think I'm the right fit. I think that I'm ready to put some energy into working on my business. And I really want to set up a strong strategy for myself finishing up this year. This might be the perfect program for you. So definitely check it out. Have a listen to this incredible interview and head to the show notes and check out more about this top program, Transforming Aesthetic Practices. All right, enjoy. Hi there. Welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. All right. Hello and welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. So guys, I am really thrilled today to have the opportunity to chat with an industry veteran, the Vice President of Sales at Jan Marini Skin Research, to really pick his brain on predictions for the role of skincare and aesthetics over the next 2 to 5 years. Really how the industry is thinking and responding right now, and the approach that Jan Marini is taking to not just anticipate, but really lead the market on this forefront. So welcome, Michael Poole, to the show. So great to have you today.
Well, Kaylee, thank you so much. I'm a big fan. So this is an honor, and I'm excited to chat and share and learn, because I don't think an interaction with you is going to come without some of that, but I'm excited to be here.
Well, we'll come with maybe some foul language or fun too. But this is really a much anticipated interview together, because we talk all the time, doing business together over the course of this year. And so I'm really excited to sort of bring this to the public, to really talk about the work we're doing together and just, kind of like lean into where are we now and what's happening with retail in our space. So I would really love, Michael, to start with you filling in our listeners into a little bit about your journey and really through aesthetics and kind of where you are now.
Sure. Well, I don't think I set out on this path, right? I think the path chose me at a certain point. But I have a background. My dad was a military guy for 30 something years. I come from a big family. My parents adopted a few kids. So there's 8 of us all together at the end of it. And so I grew up in that structured household and that was very planned out, methodical. And I think I set out in life with that same sort of plan and went in the military, went into the Navy and naval intelligence. That's what funded my education as well in criminology, and spent the first part of my professional career in intelligence and investigation work. And I did that both in the federal level and in the private sector. When I got out, I worked for a private detective agency and I did investigations all throughout northern Florida, which is where I'm from Tampa, Clearwater, Central Florida. And I worked there for years. Gainesville made sense, and Jacksonville, spent time in Jacksonville before that industry moved me up to Nashville, Tennessee, where I live now. So I'm going down that road of investigative work, and which is a lot of analysis, interviews, sort of crossing your T's, dotting your I's, looking between the lines, if you will. And that led me to some public speaking, which then followed into sales. And I sold copiers and fax machines. That's kind of how I began. I wanted to get into medical sales, and someone led me one day to, said to get your start, since you don't have sales experience, you should sell some capital. I did that with Pitney Bowes, actually. Did that for almost 6 years and became a manager there. It was a wonderful trip and experience. And that led me to the medical aesthetics. My first medical job was with Coherent, which immediately became Luminous almost at the time I was starting. I actually didn't even know that in my interview process. And I spent 16 wonderful years in lasers. Wow. Started as a rep and worked my way up from regional roles, director roles, to vice president of sales for Cutera for both North America and Europe. And it was a wonderful time and a great learning experience. And 16 years into that, I reached out to a wonderful mentor of mine, a gentleman by the name of John Connors, our CEO of our company now. He's not only a mentor, but a friend and someone I have tremendous respect for. And kind of just let him know that, I was traveling quite a bit and was looking for a little bit smaller company where I could have some input and help out. And I was humble in my approach. The position didn't really matter to me. I just wanted to contribute. And I've had good luck serving under the Connors, both Kevin and John Connors. I've had the privilege to report to both of them directly for a majority of my career. And they're two individuals that just inspire me, probably get the most out of me. So, that conversation sort of led me into skincare, into Jan Marini. So I think it started with people first, and then I came to learn about the products at Jan Marini, and I have now spent 6 wonderful years here on a wonderful rise. And it's been so exciting to see the changes within the company, within the industry, within the world, frankly.
Wow. I had no idea at naval intelligence. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So you're
careful what you say.
You know what they're doing at all times.
Well, you try. I think what I extracted from that was, being a good listener, really understanding, getting body motions and understanding posture as to maybe you're not going down a road you should, or maybe you are down a road you should be down. So I did think it gave me a different sensibility that has helped me. It helped me certainly as a rep. I think it's helped me become a strong leader because it builds that confidence, and you trust in that military structure, allows you to trust in others. So yeah, I think it's played a wonderful role in my career.
Yeah, discipline, teamwork, those things. So interesting. So then you were working with John over at Cutera, and then you guys sort of were the tag team that came over and it's really lit Jan Marini up. There's been a lot, just thinking my career and just the brand perception of Jan Marini, but always known for having really incredible products. So talk to me a little bit about what it's like working at Jan Marini, what you guys are all about and your philosophy there.
Yeah, I think without even knowing it, you probably just described a little bit of it. At first, again, coming in, not knowing much about the products, knowing the name, I think the best parts of Jan Marini are the parts that people really don't know. And that is our power. That's what gives us our strength, because we know once we can reveal that, the belief comes immediately, and the addiction to the brand and to the products. And I think I probably traveled that same journey. Again, I came for a person. I followed a leadership style that I believed in, that I knew had vision. And I came to learn and appreciate the products, how they're engineered, the over-engineering with peptides and things, because it's not really based on a cost structure and an ROI. It's not really about how can we develop a product that provides us more profit. Right. It is finding conditions that exist on the planet, and then regardless of cost, going across the planet as well to find ingredients that best treat those in a way that's elegant, that people will keep using the products. There's a lot of products out there that work, but they're not all elegant. They're not all products you would want to use every day or even twice a day, because they irritate or they take you down a bumpy path to get to your results. And I think with Jan Marini, what users will tell you is that not only do they work, but there's an elegance for which the path you take to get them to work. And that, I think, is what the culture here is about. I share with our leadership team, and it's something that really means a lot to me, is that we aspire to be our products here. I mean, we want to hire to that level. Our products, you can always count on them. They are going to 100% of the time deliver you more value and more results than you think possible. That is a guarantee. And so as individuals, we sort of need to aspire to be the same thing. It is our bright beacon example. And if we can be a version of that, which we are, that is where I think we begin to rise above. We begin to, that's why we've been enriched with a 27-year history here at Jan Marini Skin Research. And we're, that overnight success, right? It's been more of a crescendo path. And that's kind of been the vision of the company, is to have that, not be that flash in the pan, not be that quick sizzle, but be more of that, not a mile wide and inch deep. It really wants to be more about value, really more about credibility and ethics. And I think the rise of this company is showing that right now. And that's why even when times get tough, this company has gotten stronger, and the value has been raised within it. In the last year and a half, 2 years has really proven that. And I think there's a lot more of that to come with this brand.
I was shocked when working with your reseller customers in this TAP program. And I've never seen people drink Kool-Aid over products like I have with this. And it was funny because when I first started working with you, and John said, do you want to try some of our products? And of course, I have access to a lot of products at my fingertips, being just industry wise. And I really only have to use the best products. So I was like, yeah, I'll try, And then I started trying products. I'm like, wait, this is pretty good. And then when I started listening to these resellers who were like, you guys don't understand the transformation. And we're talking about their business, and they're pulling up before and after photos on their phone of like how they have transformed their clients, and how even just the devices they've invested in when they've added these products in, like what big of an impact it's made for them. And their credibility is going up. People are seeking them out because of the results. I was blown away. And I went back and like, I need more of these. I got to try this. So that's something I think a lot of times we talk about vision for companies, and we forget that really having the best quality product is really what it's about. And that is going to be the anchor point behind really helping our resellers or our clients, right? Or in your case, them serve their patients and get results, So I really can attest to that, from my experience too. But you also mentioned something, about the people. And that's been my experience working with you guys too, that it's almost as big as this company is and as big of an impact as it's making globally. I really feel like every conversation that we have, it's like a family. And a lot of the decisions are made by sort of everybody puts in their own insight in, right? Like the family gets to say, look, this is my area of expertise, and this is how I believe it's really going to impact us here in this division or this lane. And that's something I've really admired about you guys as well.
Well, thank you for that. I do believe that at some point, you become a reflection of leadership. And our founder and our CEO are caring people that are doing this for the right reason. And it's easy to rally behind, right? It's not really work when it's such a strong belief system for what you're trying to accomplish. And again, at the end of the day, we're not digging ditches in the hot sun, right? What a blessing to be creating products and innovation that are helping people feel better about themselves. And again, we don't save lives, but we enhance the quality of life. And that in these times is a very important thing, and probably a thing that's going to have more need as we move forward. And so I think hiring is a big part of business. Finding like-minded people is a big lesson, I think, for maybe the listeners as well, as you're looking for employees and looking to build a brand of any type. It's really the people that make that. And so with our brand, the products are extra. I think as we've revealed ourselves to different relationships, both big and small, nationally and worldwide, there's a pride, there's a badge of honor that I think members get to wear when they get to introduce different staff members, different department heads, reps. Even if you could take a trip through our warehouse and see who packs our boxes and ships it, it's just a very special culture of individuals that really honestly care about what we're doing. I don't think we're unique to the world to that, but it's certainly in combination with great products and good value makes for something that I think everyone is seeking right now.
Yeah. And I think it's a rapidly growing industry. Like we could probably talk for weeks on the evolution of how things have changed since you started 20 years ago here. But there's that really core focus on, to your point, it's the classic. It's like the long game. It's focusing on where do we want to be in 10 years, not the quick wins. And that is evidenced by the products that you have, the people that you have, and the partnerships that, you've really invested in. And obviously, I know personally, you guys have made, multiple six-figure investment in helping practices grow their businesses this year. Let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned something about these times, right? And we all know what that means. Like this is the elephant in the room, right? And so it's sort of like retail's kind of become a thing now. Like we're sort of starting to recognize it. How has that shifted, or has it, the priorities of Jan Marini, and where is really Jan Marini focusing their attention this year now?
Yeah, I think sometimes in business, focus comes by choice and sometimes by force. Yeah. And I think certain industries benefit from that and certain industries don't. And certainly ours as an aesthetic industry has gained some attention in the last couple of years, and times were tough. I think specifically to our company and what's happening right now, in many ways, it's really who you are, right? I think when 2 years ago, companies were forced with some immediate challenges and some decisions they had to make. Some of it was either to protect their current employee base or protect their customer base. Not many companies had the luxury to make the choice to protect both of those. We were in that camp. We were in the camp of being able to both protect our employees and protect our customers. And I do think that's a philosophy. And I think we were probably some of the only people not surprised by that, because this is what we plan for. This is why we're in business. We're in business to have longevity. We're in it for our customers and our customers' customers. And when you have that focal point, you're a little less surprised by things. And so as we enter and kind of emerge, I think business right now is not about what you've done. I think there's a lot of talk about, we've really transitioned out of the pandemic talks of, what did you do? What was it like? I think it's not even about what you're doing now, right? Because you're too late. The topics now should really about, what are you going to be doing? What are you about to be doing? And that is something that Jan Marini Skin Research spends a lot of time at the highest levels focusing on. We are looking at 2022, 2023, 2024, and we're having legitimate discussions and implementing strategies and plans that will affect us at that time. And we are very forward-looking. It doesn't mean you can't be in the moment, you can't focus on what is, but in having that sort of mindset and having the freedom and the confidence to be able to do that, you're just better again to your employees and your customers. So, what are some focus for us? Brand awareness. That I think rises right to the top. And to your opening statements, I would agree with you. Our brand, we're not perfect, but we are a company striving to be that. We're working very hard to be that. And we are making big investments. We are being very bold. And not just now, not just last year, but over the last 4 or 5 years, being extremely bold in trying to make the market direct to consumer awareness about our brand, about the health of skin. And again, all tides rise. So even as it relates to TAP, which we'll talk about, this isn't really just always about, what's in it for Jan Marini. It's not about that. This is about sort of a cultural movement in the world right now about good healthcare and taking care of yourself and your largest organ, that being skin. And we do know that there's one thing in aesthetics that everyone's doing, and that is taking care of their skin care. That's happening by every human, whether it's washing their face with a bar of soap or just vigorously scrubbing their skin in a running stream. Skincare is happening by every human on this planet. So it's one of the benefit lanes that we get to be in as a skincare company. And that's why in the last 1.5 years, 2 years, we're seeing this big movement towards skincare, because it is that staple piece. It's not managed or it's not led by an age populace or how much money you have. Things are always affordable for everyone. There's less skin type situation to be concerned with nowadays than ever before. And again, a big mover is that age group, the millennials, even younger. Skincare is really that piece that, again, practitioners and practice don't have to touch necessarily someone to do it. So you're avoiding some of those concerns. God forbid things were to shut down in a week worldwide. Skincare still is there for people. There's a way to sort of prescribe and sort of consult with individuals virtually and send them products that will bring them wonderful results. There's ways for businesses to create and generate revenue without having to touch or see someone live. And this is something that, of course, we've been preaching for many, many years, but this is the benefit we have right now, this little moment, which we're focused on seizing with brand awareness, being at the top of that, because we know when the secret gets out, people learn. Serve and support of our current partners and future partners, and things like KLC and TAP is a big part of this. We're partnering. It's a high priority for us to network partner with industry-leading, core professional-focused brands that can help our resellers. And we also like to be first. And that's why we're excited with KLC and TAP, and other partnerships we have now and will be having. We like to be the first skincare to pioneer that road. And we really want to help, I think if you had to narrow me to 3, and there's so many, it's hard to get 3, but maybe even slot it back up at 1. We want to help resellers, both ours and not ours currently, to thrive, not just survive now and into the future.
Yeah, Michael, I have to say, like, every company does say that. And I've sort of been averse over, as I've been building my own brand personally and my team and my business and position in this marketplace. It was very easy in the beginning where companies would call and be like, hey, can we throw in $10,000 of services? And by the way, every single thing you breathe, say, do, post has to have 80% of our name on it. And for me, this isn't a place to bash other companies, but I think a lot of companies say that they're really focused on helping their customers build their businesses. But when John called me and we started talking through this, and he was like, no, literally, we want to make sure that they excel. Like, that is the only goal. Like, that was it. And I'm like, where are the strings? What is that? But the what and the who and and it was sort of like, wait a minute, you guys actually are really believing in that. And that was something that was really, putting your money where your mouth is. And it's been transformative, obviously, this program. I would love to talk a little bit about the why for you guys behind the TAP program, what specifically, and, obviously this was sort of curated together in partnership. It wasn't sort of one person came in and said, do it like this,
right.
But a little bit about the why. And then maybe I'll two-part that question, what are some of the wins that you've seen, through the course of this program?
Sure. Well, there's a lot of whys. One is the need. I think really understanding what you've been doing, seeing your success, leaning into our partnership was eye-opening for us. You have a rich history in the space. You're well-respected. And we knew about you before this partnership, right? And then to put your money where your mouth is in the space, because you're right, nobody has second best products. Nobody is not trying to help people. Everyone has a similar plight. They're just taking some different roads to get there. But I liken it back to our products in that, we'll give you a bottle just to let you see and try, and then and then now we begin, right? So We'll make these strong investments because we know that in the end, we are a for-profit organization. That's those companies that are that. We keep profitability in line. We're not trying to run an unprofitable situation. However, we do know that by taking good care of people, having good people, and having the right intentions, that the profits come. And they actually come more than you could ever wish for if you have those things in mind. So with TAP, which is, those transforming aesthetic practices, that's sort of in the name, we thought, what can we do? There has been, and I think at various levels of success, even dating me back, 18 years ago with companies that try to partner with companies to help them market and make things better. And sometimes I think it's more the rich versus wealth sort of tech approach. It's like, hey, do this and we'll get rich. And that's not really, again, part of our philosophy. We're more part of the wealth philosophy. We want the slow rise that has sustainability, that has credibility, that provides for a long time. And so we look for partnership brands that are like that, yours being one of those. And then once we began to talk, and you started to unveil things that, I think are really important in business, and that is good question and listening. And you've done that a lot from us. And even before the partnership, we did that a lot with you, which helped us to vet that we're aligned and that we have similar goals in mind and that we have similar beliefs. But it also educated that, hey, there's a real need out there. I think in business, more than ever, owners are expected to be experts in areas they're maybe not, right? And so why not help them? Why not provide for them some expertise as a vendor that isn't about ingredients, ounces, bottles, and margin? How about something that's like, look, how are you doing with patient retention? How are you hiring people? How are you working with social media? It only made perfect sense because we're all looking in business for points of separation, right? And right now they're more finite than ever. You've got to find and search out ways to be a little different, to have a little something others don't. And it was clear to us that partnering with KLC, coming up with an 8-week program that was specialized, not on Jan Marini Skin Research, not on our products ingredients, but on running a healthy, medium, small, or large aesthetic practice and having a desire to do more and have more and be more than you are right now, which many, many do. The timing was just right for us to empower and partner with some experts that even had expertise we don't have about that, which has helped my reps be better valued partners in the field. They're learning from this as well. And the community. I underestimated the power of community in aesthetic. You think you'll get some maybe even same market practices on a Zoom, and you just don't know how sometimes that's going to be, right? There's a competitive nature to what we do. But what has amazed me, and you knew it all along because you were experiencing it, is the power of talking and opening up and being open and sharing with individuals that are running businesses and trying to do the same thing you're trying to do within that lane, having some of the same challenges you're having. So for us, that community that's being built right now has just enriched our relationships with our customers. And it's just been a powerful, powerful thing. So the need was one for that desired piece of information maybe we weren't experts at, and leaning on you for that and learning at the same time. But the outset of that has been just, the cries of success. And you speak to the success. We have accounts that are over 300x what they were in revenue. If we have to boil it down, some people judge their success by revenue, right? It's not always that way. When I speak to their knowledge, when I speak to how they recruit better, their attrition rates in certain places, some of those things do equate back to ancillarily to revenue. But even just from dollars and cents, we've had very valued customers of ours that have been customers for a very long time enter into this program and get revenue rates 200 to 300% times what they've had over many, many years of being in business with us. So we're raising our bar on the partnership as well. We're trying to be inspired as well to get out and share that testimony that being a part of this program will help you be a more successful business owner.
I love that. Something that has been eye-opening for me. And, it's funny because I remember having those early conversations and I'm watching your guys' faces on the other side of our Zoom call, but you're getting a group together and they're all doing the same, and what, and I'm telling you guys, everybody told me, Kaylee, this is going to fail. You're not going to be able to build a group model. It's going to fail. And I was determined, and I knew if we positioned it right, we could make it work. And it's really about the selectivity of the who in the room as well. The people that are really open to that. You mentioned earlier, all the boats rise, right? The tide rises, everybody rises. And that's sort of that philosophy. And what's been so impressive is that we talked about really the way Jan Marini thinks as a business and their core values. And there's something interesting as I work with even on private consulting on brand strategy with practices. And they sometimes underestimate the value of becoming their brand and living in accordance with the brand of who they say they are. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're saying, look, we believe in helping our practices grow. We believe in community. We believe in people. We believe in this long game. We believe in building wealth. And most importantly, you guys believe in listening. You've said that 4 times today. And I think that's what's been missing. That is what's missing. Every other company has been coming out and saying, let me tell you what to do. This is how you can be successful. And the difference here is, let me hear what your challenges are. It's teaching a framework for these practices to come in and say, look, I understand this model, but here's why this is a challenge for me, or this is how can I apply this? How are you doing that? Right? And it's literally not just learning information that you can freaking get on YouTube. Let's be real. Right. It is applying it. And it's the, how do I apply this? And how do I incorporate this and make this knowledge that I can access for the future and make $1 million again and again and again and again. And setting up these systems, you talk about revenue growth, but the promise behind TAP is to double your recurring retail revenue, right? Hello, lockdown, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's setting up the systems within these practices to be able to be successful. And it's been an honor, honestly, the relationships that I've been able to build with your resellers through this process, because they're people. And at the end of the day, if we can touch one person or 2 people or 3 people, right, and that is how this flame is going to become wildfire at the right pace. We're not going to overdo it. We're going to do it the right way. And it's been fun to be a part of that success as well. And I appreciate hearing that feedback, obviously.
Yeah. And it's a selective program for us. Our belief is so high that not everyone's available to this. This is for very serious aesthetic practices and customers that we have, and prospects, right? We offer this. There are some qualifiers to qualify for the program, and we sponsor. Nothing in life, in business like this, comes without a cost of some sort, but we absorb that cost. We believe in this. And I want to make sure that the listeners are aware, and those that are seeking something like this, that there's a cost associated to this. And in this partnership with TAP, Jan Marini assumes that cost. We will sponsor for 8 weeks for our customers and new customers and prospects to attend this program. because we believe in it that much. We put our money where our mouth is. We believe in it that much. And we were able to have a play in crafting it and building it. And it's customized for the kinds of customers we want and the customers that we have. And we're not just filing people in there. So it's a warehouse situation. This is a very select group of practices that really want to have impact in their business and that it's an interactive program that requires homework and all the things that come with being good and learning, right? Rep interaction. And there's a commitment, and we want that. There should be, right? All things like this should come with some sort of commitment from both sides. Otherwise, it's just another one of those things that exists. This was the appeal for us to partner, was that there's a commitment from the owner, the physician, the practitioner, to be a part of this program. They actively, this isn't an assignment sort of thing. This is where the owner, MD, is attending this and playing a role in this and learning from this. And there's that trickle down, which we know matters. So that, I think, is the enrichment. That is what makes this. I mean, first, people like exclusivity and they like things to be a little more private and not available for everyone. But it wasn't really the intent. The intent was that those that come out, this isn't a numbers volume thing.
Right.
It's a quality thing. Yeah. We want people on the backside of this to be so charged up, engaged, and enlightened that they're screaming it out, right? And that's really what our brand is about. Yeah. Try it subtly, and then try to be one of my neighbors that literally every month wants products from me because I made the mistake of giving a Christmas present.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, no, you're right. And I think it's accountability, it's like, that's why, look, we're all humans. And do we want to go to the gym? No. Do we want a hot body? Yeah. But we need sometimes, that's why I pay a trainer to be like, Keely, come and work out. And then what are you eating? Right. It's like, we need that as people, as humans, especially as business owners. We can really get sucked into the nuances of running the day-to-day business. And this is really your call to action that, look, if you're ready to say, hey, I'm ready to work on my business. I'm ready to align with a company that is really future focused, that can bring me to the next level, that can anticipate the needs, that's on the pulse of what's going on in the industry, then I'm going to commit to this program. I'm going to show up and do it. And that's really what we're asking of, these qualified resellers who join this program. So I want to, with that, to the point of future thinking, I think really we're all sort of hanging on to like where we've been, what's happening, and I'd really like to kind of finish through the rest of our time together to talk about, lean into your insights, Michael, in terms of predictions for the role of skincare and aesthetics over the next 2 to 5 years. What's happening? If you can tell us, like, what's Jan Marini, seeing and working on, and like, what should we as aesthetic practices be preparing for to come?
I wish I had a crystal ball, but what I can lean on is I'm in the trenches. That's where I love to be. And as a leader, I think that's really important as well, is that to understand your business, you have to be part of your business. And so I know that the future of skincare is extremely bright. In the end of last year in December, the Klein Group, which is an independent consulting company that really reaches out to practitioners and aesthetic owners and business owners and polls them on different things related to aesthetics. And they asked them in 2020, what were your growth rates for certain segments of the medical business, that being injectables, medical device, medical equipment, skincare? And the collective growth for the other three categories outside of skincare was 45%. And skincare was 77%. Wow. So we know, based on facts, and that is based on practices, not just our own beliefs, that skincare is on the rise. And there's a couple reasons why that will continue to go bigger. One, we mentioned a little bit earlier in the talk, is that there aren't a lot of limitations in way of accessibility and access to. And access becomes a major filter in aesthetics, right? And then we've learned that. If nothing else, we've learned that in the last 2 years. If you can't inject someone physically, you don't get to earn through injecting, and people don't get their wrinkle reduction or filler because they can't be injected, right? So there are limitations inherently by different segments of business. And skincare is sort of free of that. There are no limitations based upon age and segment and accessibility. We, in 2020, when pandemic hit, by April, late March, early April, we had devised as a company, by the way, we furloughed, laid no one off. All employees stayed with Jan Marini. We doubled down our employees. We doubled down on our customers. And we were very blessed to be able to do that. But we were doing Zooms. We started a campaign before Zoom kind of stock shot up, before really people knew. We're talking late March, early April. We were contacting our practices and hosting Zooms for our practices with their customers. who had not seen their customers in a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on where they did it. I mean, tears. I was on these Zooms, tears connecting them to them, and where we said, look, we can connect you to your reseller. You can still get access to great skincare. We're going to support you. And I think right now in the world that we live in, rituals, how you feel about yourself. There were two big markers in my career in aesthetics is when I'm done with this and look back, I'm going to factually tell everyone, and I do this now, that selfies and now Zoom were two of the biggest spikes in my career path. When people started looking at themselves with selfies more and more, it was a phenomenon that just got the people thinking about how they look, right? Yeah. And you went from that still picture, which you could change with filters, and you could really, now we're Zooming all day long, a little tougher to filter, a little longer access of view of both you and others. And you're looking at yourself, you're looking at others. And this is a big marker for aesthetics. Yes. And it will prove to be 20, 30 years from now, it's changed. It's changed our industry. It's changed the way people feel about themselves. It's changed the way people want to look and feel and project themselves. And because we know that people like routines, right? They love rituals. And taking your makeup off at night, or even if you don't remove your makeup or you don't have to, the ritual of cleansing your face, using a good moisturizer, exfoliating properly, maybe doing a nice mask on your, it's something you can look forward to. And I think
and self-care,
those things that are making you look forward to something, they are not going to slow down in the future. They are only going to be more rapid. The things that make you feel good and that you look forward to doing are going to be in higher demand every single day. And we're creating technologies, to your point, that allow you to get more service-based results from at home. That is a focus for the company. We've launched several technologies in the last year that were based around peels, at-home peel systems. Sort of, it takes a little longer, of course, but you can have at-home peel effects without having to get a chemical peel and having to go somewhere. We saw that. We got ahead of that. We've launched a nice acne product as well that's in that same vein that gives nice, aggressive acne treatments and that you can do at home. And more things that have allowed us to let our base and our customers enjoy the benefits of good results by things they can do in their bathroom.
I have to tell you, I have met more estheticians running 7-figure businesses now since COVID. I mean, it was one thing you used to think like that esthetician, and even providers would be like, oh, I just sort of need an esthetician to funnel me business. And it really hasn't been like the core, like skincare was never, I wouldn't say never. And this isn't totally universal, but in general, like in terms of the data that you mentioned, like with Klein, right? Look at that growth. And the other piece to it for me is like, I'm listening to you talk about the ritual among patients and the access from home. And I'm thinking of, look, at the beginning of the year, I made this bold statement, like this is the self-care revolution, people. Like it is all about health and wellness. I too, I'm the victim of that. I love using the filters on my Instagram, and I see aesthetic providers doing that. They're filtering their conversation about skincare. The level has changed, right? And so like our expectations of ourselves. But another piece to that is, and why, as I sort of unravel, like, why are these estheticians just freaking crushing it right through COVID? And it's to your point, it is the virtual, it's taking this hands-on, it's a service-based business where I have to have my hands on this patient, and you really don't. You can educate the patient and provide value virtually. And I think that there's an important piece to that. And something we teach in TAP is what I call the RMP, relationship marketing process. And that's really where you're taking a consumer from the point of becoming aware that you exist to establishing trust so that they want to spend their money with you, right? And there's this sort of nurturing process that happens. It can happen in a day, it can happen in 2 years. What's interesting about skincare, a couple of weeks ago, one of our providers in TAP asked a question, Kaylee, why would I take my limited marketing budget, time, attention span with a consumer and talk about a Siesta C serum that maybe is going to net me at $150 or whatever versus an RF microneedling treatment that's going to net me over $1,000? And I thought this was such a valuable question. And you could see everybody sort of lean in like, I know the answer to that, but let's hear your take on it.
Right.
And it was such a valuable question because it's really skincare is that piece that addresses that. I can educate you. I can credential myself. I can show you something that can give you an instant result before you even have to come in and spend the money on the RF microneedling, right? it's establishing very quickly that trust with the client. And it can happen in an instant with a great product, with knowledge, without you having to go through this whole sales process with the client. It is the way, to me, it is the conduit to establishing trust and rapport. And you mentioned this in our pre-chat, right? It is the avenue to building wealth versus just getting rich quick, right?
That's right. And what we know, even a subset of that, is that the average skincare patient will buy skincare 5 times a year. And some can buy more, but that's the average. And industry studies have shown that even individual practices only get 1 to 2 of those 5 purchases in a year. So as loyal as we are, if we love something, there's a lot of access now on where to get that. And so to your point earlier of estheticians and seeing their rise, I mean, skincare is sort of broken in a couple segments, that being the retail segment, things you can buy at Walgreens and those sort of locations. And then the professional segment, which is one that Jan Marini thrives and believes in. And the growth of the professional segment over the last several years is almost 3x what the retail side of it is, because patients, customers, people want to be recommended. They want to be assessed. They want to get a consultation, and they want products that they know they can have effect. And so you're going to see a continued rise in that sort of demand for estheticians and for people to get professional advice in what they're doing, because products are available. They're certainly affordable. Now they can be shipped directly to your house, even in a medical sort of scenario. We can ship direct even for our own customers. We will ship for our customers. So there's this rise in this accessibility to that. And so you'll continue to see that. And the more we can make it and the more we can educate the market on the ease of accessibility for quality products, the better it will be for all.
Yeah, I think we have to learn, what have we learned from Amazon? And what have we learned? And I think that if we have relationship with our customers, they want to give us their business. They want to do business with us, but they have access to convenience. They have, at the click of a button, I can get food delivered. I can have dinner here. I can book an exotic vacation, 1 second. And so I agree with you in that. I think leaning into working with companies and putting systems in place to be able to offer that accessibility to your client so that they can stay loyal to you. They can continue to do business with you, but also you can keep a pulse on their care so that they're optimizing their outcomes and really the lifetime relationship with you, building that long-term value.
Yeah, there's a big migration in America right now. It's happening. And I'm not just mean brands that people are changing. I mean, humans, they're moving all around. And one of the beautiful caveats to skincare is that you can own a patient for life. It's one of the few things that exists in a practice where someone can come in one time and maybe they're just visiting, and you can get them on a wonderful skincare program. And through the power of the internet, through the power of strong e-commerce, you can be connected to that individual no matter where they are in the world, as well as their family, their sorority sisters, their fraternity brothers, their whoever, their cousins, their whoever. So it's changed the complexity of geography. Skincare removes fences and it removes zip codes and all those things. Right. You're unencumbered, you're unlimited.
And I'll just make a quick plug for Tab. If you're listening to this and you feel like this e-commerce conversation is a little overwhelming, because I'll tell you, I even had a private client, we were working on a private formulated skincare line and COVID hit. And he sends me an email like, we got to put the stop on everything, And it was like, I'm just going to open up an e-commerce and sell some Skin Medica products or something. It was like, whatever, let's just do that. And it was very kind of reactive. And I think a lot of us were in a point where we didn't know what was going to happen. But a lot of people said, okay, I'm going to start an e-commerce site, and didn't really put the thought process and the system and the strategy behind it. And so that is one of the 8-week one piece of that 8-week session that really we break it down for you. Like how the heck do you actually make money using the e-commerce strategy? Because it can be overwhelming. Like just putting up a site and then not really understanding how to really build that that revenue model behind the accessibility to patients and the referrals and get the shipping and all of that. So I just have to put that in there because I know it can feel overwhelming for people. So
TAP can empower you with that. It's something that can help teach that. And we can, as a brand, follow that up from that. So once you feel like you have some expertise and you have some knowledge, again, you don't know everything, even business. So this is a new frontier, right? It's a new frontier of learning. Just like when the internet just first hit, just like when TV first started, just like when the radio started. I mean, when the mail first started running, it was weird to get mail in a mailbox. At some point, everything's new and fresh, right? So it's important to be informed. And that's why it's important to have strong partnerships and strong vendor partners that bring to you knowledge that maybe you didn't know was available. And certainly if they could sponsor you to get that knowledge, it's a beautiful thing. And then as a partner, they can continue to walk you down that road to grow that channel for you, which Jan Marini can do for them. I think that's where, again, that sustainable rise will continue for the industry and for our brand as people become a little more aware of some of the needs that are out there right now.
Yeah, I agree. Appreciate that. Any final thoughts? A question I probably should have asked but didn't. And then let's talk about how people can get more access to this program. And just
You're thorough. You're thorough. It's been wonderful. No, I think, I could go for hours. I enjoy it. I have a real passion for this, as you do, for this space and for what's happening and for skin, for the aesthetics industry as a whole. And so I think we've been pretty thorough. And I think the way to dive a little deeper is to certainly reach out. And you can do that through janmarini.com for sure. That's sort of your gateway to everything. Local representation is a wonderful way to contact us for the TAP program. Those will be the two key points on our side for contact. And then we enlighten. And if you're the account that qualifies for this, we would love to sponsor you so that you can grow your practice and grow some knowledge as it relates to running, again, a successful business in our space.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks. And I will also link up in the show notes the registration page so you can go and learn more about the program, see some testimonials and some feedback, really a rundown of more about the program and what's included and all of that. But if you're sitting here listening to this, one, obviously get some Jan Marini products and try them out. But two, if you're even thinking, I've really worked hard to build a business, create this wonderful, beautiful, lucrative business that I have, but I'm ready to step in and take some time to plan for the future, definitely check out this program. This is a customized, curated program. It's exclusive to Jan Marini and yours truly. Obviously, I'm a big fan of it, partially because I'm running it and leading it, but also to be in partnership with such a great company and philosophy and be a part of predicting and building and anticipating what's coming in the future as well. So, Michael, thank you so much. This has been so fun and so enlightening. And I know we both love this topic, so we could go on and on and on, but I just really appreciate your time today. And thanks for giving all of your insights.
Thank you, Kaylee. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of The Fierce Factor. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you subscribe so you can automatically get new shows every week. I'd also love it if you left us a review. And come join the conversation online. If you're an aesthetic industry owner, operator, or leader, please join my free Facebook group, The Tribe of Fierce Aesthetic Leaders, a community of ambitious, purpose-driven professionals who collaborate and share best practices for growth in business and life. I'm honored you tuned in.